Your dad, when he met me and he found out my birthday, because our birthdays are one day apart. He's July 9th, I'm July 10th. Yeah. And he told me, I've never met a man born in July that I ever liked.
Hi, I'm Naomi Graham. I'm 27 and I'm an elementary school French immersion teacher.
My name is Jessie Obeng. I'm 29 and I'm a data analyst and consultant.
We're newly married. I'm Naomi Obeng. I forgot. Babes, how did we meet?
We met on Hinge.
Our first date was like not good.
It was good.
It wasn't great. I wasn't hungry, so I got an appetizer.
And then I got a pizza, you ate some of it.
And then I ordered another round of calamari.
Well,
and 2 glasses of wine.
It wasn't a good first date.
It was delicious.
You're just well fed.
No, don't do me like that, please.
Looking back on it, you make comments about the jacket that I was wearing.
It was so ugly.
I still have it.
Man,
I love that jacket. I love that jacket.
Okay, I've never seen and hope to never again see a fuzzy gray jacket on an adult man. About how I saw the potential. You were always handsome.
Thank you.
I think you've definitely become more handsome. You're always handsome, babes.
Thank
Even
you.
when you had no locks and no mustache and no beard.
My whole life, I never grew my hair. It wasn't until...
You met a Jamaican and she said, Rasta.
My mom's still not down for the hair, but she's very down for you. When did we define the relationship? We had like constant dialogue where we were just kind of like checking in on like where we were at, what we wanted.
And then the pandemic came and it was actually a real like external assessment. Like, oh, so is this really where you're at? Because I think we were progressing.
Yeah.
Spending that time together, I think accelerated things for me.
We started staying in each other's bubbles.
Yeah.
And then we started making patties.
Since we couldn't like hang out with our friends, we just delivered patties to their door.
Yes.
And that's when all of our friends were like, yo, these are kind of fire.
And neither of us had done a food business before. And so it was just like, okay, this is a good foray into trying to get into some level of entrepreneurship.
I love all this stuff, but my favorite thing is us before the business.
It's
always us.
Yeah, we're not gonna let this destroy us.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to it,
if we have to choose,
we throw it away.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Because it felt safe.
Yeah.
It felt like you prioritized me and us. I remember also being like nervous about dating. The past Hinge dates before you were not good. You were third Hinge guy.
Nice.
And third and last, thankfully.
Nice.
I was like telling my friends it wasn't that serious at first.
Yeah, I said, no, this is the love of my life.
Absolutely.
I've seen her love at first sight.
Yeah, even though you kept seeing other people after our first date.
I did, because at the time, we were both saying that we weren't sure what we were ready for.
It's true.
Because we were both coming out of situations where we weren't sure if we wanted to just make sure we took the time to evaluate what we wanted. And so I remember talking to my friends about it, and they're like, nah, she sounds great. I guess like whenever I was describing you, like there's so much good to say. Like you were super sweet, nice. You had a little attitude, but it was kind of okay. You know, it's kind of spicy. I liked it.
It's not like the girls. So they met you and heard about you, I think, a little bit later. But they were like pro Jessie.
I met your family pretty early on.
Yeah.
Your mom, sweetest lady. You know, like that's my mother.
Meanwhile, my dad,
your dad's
absolutely
like, he says it's not Moscato. Sorry, sir.
I didn't mean the wine. I mean him taking some time to warm up,
It's
as
true.
dads do.
Your dad, when he met me and he found out my birthday, because our birthdays are one day apart. He's July 9th, I'm July 10th.
Yeah.
And he told me, I've never met a man born in July that I ever liked. But there's so many instances where we were supposed to run into each other, but I think we came to each other at the right time.
I 100% agree. Like, I like the person who I was when I met you, and I think that person was ready for the relationship that we have now.
I agree. Anybody other than the person that I was when we met wouldn't have been prepared.
Sometimes when I think about, like, instances in our relationship, I always remember that conversation that we had and I was so scared about having with you. When, like, because you know when we first met, everything was super chill, and I was like feeling like kind of like ambivalent in terms of like religion. When my church did the fast for 21 days, and I just told you about it, and I was scared because I never wanted you to feel like I was pressuring you. But I also didn't want to not tell you, because we were at that point we were telling each other everything. I didn't even ask you anything, and you're just like, oh, I can do it with you. Like, I'll do it too.
I grew up in church. It wasn't until like you were talking to me more about it, how you're going back to church, how you're involved in church, and like in the beginning I'm like, wasn't that interested. And then I started to take some time and I was like praying on my own and reading my Bible on my own. Because you didn't ever like say, hey, you gotta be like at the pulpit swinging the Bible to be with me, I felt like I had space to like explore.
Yeah.
Right? And so I did. And I did the Daniel fast and it was an incredible experience.
It was challenging, but it was good.
Yeah. I'm grateful that that's something that like you were a vehicle for bringing that back to me.
We were doing our answers independently and then coming back to share them. And I never forget that on that day when it asked, like, what did you learn during the year? We both wrote that we learned that we could love again. I feel like you've taught me to not be embarrassed. And just watching you, how comfortable you are in your skin all the time. Like, you are Jessie 100% of the time. You are very dependable. Everyone in your life knows that. It's like, who are you gonna call? Jessie, not Ghostbusters. Whatever it is, if it's time, if it's money, if it's brute force, if it's advice, if it's like counsel, if it's support, if it's love, you are like that person that's in someone's corner, vocally in their corner all of the time.
You have a really good way of articulating your emotions. Like, that's something that I struggled with. And you have a really good way of like communicating your thoughts clearly, eloquently, so that people can understand your perspective. They walk away questioning their stance and recognizing that there's more nuance to what they were thinking about. And I think that's something that you helped me do a lot. Where a lot of thoughts that I thought I'd solidified a very long time ago, that I could recognize that there's more to it. We have great dialogue. What's your pet peeves?
Lenny, let's go.
Laziness.
Yeah, laziness is a disease.
Laziness is a disease.
I think that's very ironic coming from the prime sleeper inner of the house.
Sleeping is not laziness.
Sleeping?
I'm resting my body so I can be optimal performing. I never mentioned this to you
Oh, I'm
because I just
scared.
do it. But when the toothpaste is all crinkled up, you don't just slide it to the bottom like
You know,
like
but the thing is,
a good person should. There's so much that we have planned within the next few years, between like buying a home, having children, starting businesses. It's really hard to place my finger on exactly what I need it to look like, because like what I want it to look like often changes as I go through the year. How do I want you to grow as an individual?
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
I want you to extend yourself more grace and experience more peace. That's what I really want for you more than anything. In being that amazing, dependable person, you really like take on everything for everyone all at one time. And I just want you to know that you're enough.
As much as we may want it to, and as much as the world might look like that we're allowed to be patient. We're allowed to take the steps in the right way. We're allowed to move through a method. You can feel safe taking risks. How does it feel to love a black man?
I personally don't think anyone could love me as well as a black man could. And it's not just like trauma bonding. As a black man growing up in a black home with black siblings, I think, you know, hair is always a thing. I don't want my hair growing from my head to be political at home. I love that we can both tan. I love that you started doing a skincare routine with me and now you wear sunscreen. It feels like the epitome of safety. How does it feel being loved by a black woman?
There's an understanding that comes from being loved by a black woman. There's a safety in being loved by a black woman where I'm able to like be vulnerable in a way with you that I couldn't be vulnerable outside. I'm able to have certain things that I don't even necessarily have to communicate that you understand.
Like that time in the car with that man. So we were driving down Dundas.
Yeah.
And I don't know if someone was trying to get past us. Yeah, and he called you the N-word.
He called me the N-word out loud.
Out loud.
Out loud. At home, we're able to have pretty like easy dialogue. There's a cultural understanding. There's a social and familial understanding that comes with it. And there's like a familiar type of love. It feels exactly how I want it to feel, you know? It's exactly how I like my love.